Hey, back with you today with some more of Exodus chapter 20 and the 10 Commandments. And we're going to continue looking at verse 1, just verse 1 by itself. Let's read it again as we did yesterday. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, you should definitely go back and watch it because we begin this process of thinking about verse 1. It says, then God gave the people all these instructions. Now, these instructions, they were not invented at Mount Sinai. You know, when we stop and think about the moral code found within what we refer to as the Mosaic Law, they do show some what I would call new revelation, but for the most part, it is simply and clearly laying out God's law as it had already been being practiced by men like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, as it had already been being done. So it was the law that God wrote on our hearts, as it talks about in the book of Romans, that is now being expressed and kind of codified is how I would think about this. I mean, think about it for a second. It is wrong to steal or murder or covet, not primarily because it's put in the 10 Commandments. They are forbidden in the 10 Commandments, but because they were previously forbidden by our conscience, which is the law being written on our heart by God. We just innately know some things of what is right and what is wrong. They are forbidden because it's not part of God's nature, and God is our creator. And so He literally wrote these things on our heart. So I've read this. It said that the commandments are God's nature expressed in terms of moral imperatives, right? So God writes these things on our hearts. And then now He's giving them to the Israelites in this very plain, simple way for them to follow. And when I stop and think about this, you see across all of cultures, you see people finding and using so much of the same thought process in what is right and what is wrong. You know, we think about the universal morality among men. You know, we can think about how all of these basic moral principles are found around all these things. I mean, you know, pretty much all cultures have said murder is wrong, kindness is good. They agree that we have obligations to our family, that honesty is good, that stealing is wrong, that justice is good. You know, bravery is personified and pushed forth as bravery being a good thing. You know, we have these heroes that are personifications of bravery. You think about the men charging on to Normandy Beach in 1944 to stop the Nazis. You know, those are acts of incredible bravery that we think about. So what this shows us is that there is this common law or morality amongst all of people across all these different cultures. It all boils down to so much of the same thing. And why is that? It's because we have a God and a Creator that built us this way, that put these things within us. Now, it doesn't mean that people don't rebel. It doesn't mean that some cultures don't stray greatly from that, but you find the basis of these things all across history. And it's so interesting to see that we know what is right, we know what is wrong, because God wrote it in our hearts. Talk to you later.